welcome back to 7CR. We got a TWAB this week with some decent info for next year, or not year, next season. If it was next year, I would be so sad. I'm dragging right now, and we're in the last week. So, community time. Adept weapons. We're getting a whole bunch new trials once, and we're also getting some available through strikes, through the ordeals. Quick, super good advice. Do not speedrun them. Help your team. Shoot the champions, please. Because you have to get, the higher your medal rank, the more likely you are to get the weapon. And you need platinum to have the best chance. Anyway, moving on. When they announced these things, they said that they're going to be able to get special mods, like get more blast radius, basically a stat mods.
Basically how the adepts work on trials weapons.
Right. It's going to be the same way for both sets. The only thing is, as of right now, if you want an adept weapon, it actually takes your mod slot. I don't like it. Because, I mean, I'm no PvP god, but I will throw Icarus on some things. And if I got an adept weapon, I feel like it's wasted because I can't use Icarus. But I'm also one of those guys that doesn't think Icarus is a end-all, be-all. It has to have it. Because there are other good mods that are great. Throwing backup mod on a steady hand is amazing to give you some extra bullets. But yeah, what do y'all take?
So I think it falls under the principle that I feel like we discuss almost every week. Bungie is stingy when it comes to rewarding players, right? Like, we talk about loot. I feel like adept weapons should feel, I don't want to say different, but unique from their, standard counterparts in a way. I mean, I get, like, adept mods aren't necessarily going to make the weapon insane, but I think it should have its own mod slot. I don't think it should kind of take away that ability to kind of slot it in, because like you worked for it, right? You're either doing, what is it? The high end, the high end Nightfall ordeals, or you're going flawless to get your mods. So I think if you're putting in that work, you should be rewarded for it. And again, it's not like the adept mods are absolutely insane, so it should be an additional thing. You should be able to equip Icarus, because Icarus, it's not like, again, it's not like Icarus or backup mag, or like if you've got a gun with like Rampage on it, that the Rampage mod is making it that much better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're
you still have to be able to hit your shot in the air.
You're not making them broken at that point. I feel like Bungie's just kind of, again, being stingy in a way. I'd like to see it change personally.
I also agree. I kind of feel like if it's an adept weapon, it needs to be way more potent. I mean, adept mod, excuse me. You worked for it. You worked harder than you would for normal mods. You didn't just buy it. So it should be like stronger if it's going to sit in that mod slot. And if it's not going to be like, game-breakingly powerful, then it needs to be in its own mod slot that's separate, so that you can still put on like the Icarus and targeting adjusters and whatever else you might put in that slot.
I mean, when you think about it, even in D1, we kind of got our first little taste of this when I can't even remember what the series was called, but the blue set of Trials weapons, their adept versions they basically all had celerity on it. Right. You were the last person standing, you got extra handling and all kinds of other stuff. And while it was cool, like, the only time it procced is when you're the last person standing, and you never want to be the last person standing in Trials. And for the people that didn't get it, they didn't feel like they were missing out on much. So I wonder if that was what they were trying to shoot for with this. Like, they were trying to make it where it's cool if you get it, like yay.
I mean,
But the people that weren't able to get it didn't feel like they were missing out on a whole bunch.
I feel like the question then would be like, are the adept mods really that much better? Like, are they making those guns that much better? Right? Like, do you go, oh man, that guy's got like an adept summoner or something, and go, oh man, like, geez, watch out for him. I don't think the adept mod, like, I get the point that you're making. I just don't think. I think Bungie's missing the mark there because I just don't feel
Oh,
like
they
adept.
definitely are.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
just
I'm
don't feel
saying
like
like we
adept.
got our
Yeah,
first taste of it in D1 when you think about it, and it sucked.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from y'all. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit the link down below and talk about it in Discord, or even leave a comment. If you're listening to us now on Spotify
or Anchor.
or Anchor, again, just search for us on our socials. We have links to our Discord, and you could hit us up there. Community clip time. We have each week we have our clip box open for y'all to submit your clips to. Then we weed through the massive amount of clips and pick out our favorites. And this was a good one. This one had some debate to it. But roll it.
3 minutes remain. Keep the pressure and you have them. Victory is yours for the taking. Seize it. Zone B lost. That's 2. 3 opponents down. Like a reaper. A powerful statement.
There you have it, clip of the week. Thank you again for your submission. If you want to have your clip featured, send us your clips in the Discord. There's a nice little place for you to send it. We'll love to see y'all's clips. It's something we honestly look forward to every week.
Facts. The gameplay, the
gameplay.
awareness, the
We learn some
awareness,
things.
The game sense.
yeah, the game sense. Just the sheer, filthiness of it.
Need a bath.
Facts.
So
Giving out baths.
we're giving out baths. Alrighty. So where do we even start on this thing? Weapons?
I would like to say let's start with, since the season is wrapping up, let's kind of review the season real quick. Scale 1 to 10, and maybe some of your high points or something, low points, whatever about this season. Kind of a little summary, I guess.
Mm.
Alrighty.
Okay, sounds good.
So lore wise, season was actually really good if you had to dig into it a little bit. The Crow redemption arc was kind of cool. Dude's probably going to be the speaker now. That's my pitch. Highlight for me, random rolled exotic. Love it. I want this. Like, seriously, go through and make every exotic random rolled like this. Slightly buff the chance of getting the exotic, slightly, but have them random rolled. I mean, I would be ecstatic. It would make it, getting that gold engram to drop, well, you'd be excited for it because, one, you're hoping for a weapon over armor, and when you do get the weapon, you're like, okay, does it have the right perks? And that would be totally viable. Like, I know when the closest thing I can compare it to is Diablo. If you ever played, you kill a boss and there's just loot everywhere, but it'll be junk stuff that'll be turned into mats. Like what we do now, we destroy the purples because sometimes they're not good rolls, and then sometimes you get named legendaries, which your named legendaries sometimes they have special affixes which are similar to your exotic, that they're great but they're not the best. And then sometimes you get that one thing that's the perfect roll, and you like are practically crying because you've been grinding so long for this thing. That's what I want in Destiny. Right now, it's like, oh, I got another false promises. I already have all 3 of the possible good god rolls on this thing. There's nothing else I want. Make it where once like there's a threshold. Once you've gotten the legendaries so many times, the exotics start tweaking up. Don't make it where like every other drop's an exotic, but make it where it's a little more rewarding and makes you question stuff more. But overall, this season, I'd give it a solid 7 to 8.
That's
Just
a lot
because
higher than I thought.
That's all right. That's
well, because let me justify it a little more. The random world exotics played a big part for me.
Right.
The different exotics that bled over from Beyond Light itself were awesome, and it was kind of cool running the different lost sectors and whatnot. Wrathborn hunts themselves incredibly easy. I would have liked more of a challenge and more reward out of it. I would have liked an option instead of getting guns or stuff to turn into crow. Make it where I can get an enhancement course. Make it where I can have a chance at getting prisms, ascendant shards. Like if I blow all 5 charges on one guy, and it's a super dude, and I have to take a whole fire team of 3 in there with me, otherwise I'm not going to pass it at all. And I have a chance to get 2 or 3 shards out of it at the end. I would be down. But they didn't do that. So that obviously was a low point. But the weapons themselves, some of them, there were some hidden gems. The SMG, very solid if you got a stability roll. The scout rifle fills that energy slot for that RPM amazingly. The grenade launcher is actually really fun. If you get the ambitious assassin rampage roll, you get 1 kill regardless of how. You reload, you end up having 2 in the chamber, and since it's a wave frame, each wave does 140 guaranteed, no matter what the range. Fire both shots immediately, that's a kill. So, there's all kinds of stuff you could do. So the weapons were good. They were just, you had to think more than what you were just like, okay, these are our normal PvP perks. Yay. So yeah, 7 or 8.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna preface by saying that Beyond Light, like as an expansion, I thought was pretty good. I thought it added a lot, and I thought that like lore, even Crucible, and the effect that it's had on Crucible, it's all been quite impactful. And I would give that like an 8 out of 10. The season that launched alongside it, the lore was good. The lore was very good. The Wrathborn Hunt / Monster Hunter things were like hella phoned in. They could have been a lot more, but they weren't. And I preface the Beyond Light thing because I figure that like the reason it feels phoned in is because they're working on this expansion in the middle of a pandemic, and like they had to launch these things at this weird time while also messing with their engine. So like I see all these things that happened. I'm still gonna kind of call it how it is. I didn't care for really any of the weapons that dropped with this with the Wrathborn Hunts. I thought that they were all okay, fine. There's probably some gems in there. Me personally, I'm not like, these are all weapons that I don't even like, use in my arsenal. I'm more of a hand cannon, sniper, shotgun, machine gun, sword kind of guy. Like, none of what's offered. So that's just me. I'm sure that people who like scouts and grenade launchers and whatnot are in tune with them. And then lastly, the season has done next to nothing for Crucible for me. I don't think we've gotten an update for Crucible, and I always take that into account when the season is out. I'm not even sure, weapon-wise, that it had too much of an impact. I think the most I've seen, aside from Hawkmoon, obviously, is Glacial Chasm from the Dawning. Other than that, I don't see the Wrathborn weapons, and I guess I see some Beyond Light weapons here and there, and then of course Stasis is its own thing. But whether that's good or bad, we've already talked about. I think I would give the season probably a 4 or 5, to be honest with you. I've already prefaced and said why I feel like it launched the way it did. and I'm sure the next seasons will be better than it. But that's just how I felt this season regarding everything. So yeah,
I'd agree with that. Season in review. I'm gonna agree a little bit. So like I look at the season and I go, okay, well, this was kind of lackluster in a way. All of the stuff that was going on, like Chance mentioned. I also look at like when Shadowkeep released, because like Undying was kind of underwhelming for a lot of people. I feel like, I mean, like the whole area was nice and like the guns were kind of unique-ish looking, but I feel like the season itself lackluster, kind of event-wise and stuff like that. I mean, it was their first one, but like they're under the seasonal model, I guess. But I mean, I would compare it to the same thing. DLC, got most of the attention. The season kind of a little bit of an afterthought almost. And then like once the DLC was done, and after that, the next season, it was fairly solid. If I had to go with the seasonal stuff, kind of bouncing off some of the points you guys made, I think the random rolls on exotics should still just stay a Hawkmoon thing. I don't think it should kind of carry over to everything else. I think it makes Hawkmoon unique, and I think the goal with exotics should be to kind of make each one of them kind of unique. I get what you were going for. It kind of gives you something else to chase, and I can agree with that. But I think making it unique in itself like that is definitely a good thing. Especially since, like, I mean, there was no way we were getting the original Hawkmoon back. So I like the change there as far as Hawkmoon goes. Wrathborn hunts, I honestly could tell you, I think I've done like 5 total because they're just boring. I don't use I like to hoard guns, like god roll versions of guns, even if like I don't use them a lot, just in case they do become kind of meta when it comes to PvP or PvE. But honestly, nothing really excited me. I've gotten a couple scout rifles just to randomly drop. I just really haven't paid attention to anything else. I think just Wrathborn hunts just bored me. They were just kind of boring. And I get why they were, but I just kind of ignored them and did my thing this season. I liked the Hawkmoon quest. Hawkmoon super solid in PvP, right? It's definitely a stat stick, even if you don't have the random rolled version. And then you get the random rolled version with like opening shot, rangefinder,
polygrip. First
super
shot.
great.
Never have had to run it again.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's a stat stick, and if you're like new to hand cannons, here's your gun. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I do like, I shouldn't say it. So good and bad. Bad that they removed True Prophecy from the loot pool early. Really stupid.
It was because of bugs, but True
Prophecy. True Prophecy, the hand cannon, the 120. And then Steady Hand. Super happy to see Steady Hand come with Iron Banner and stuff. I was kind of hoping that it was going to come. Still waiting on that pulse rifle, but super solid kind of replacement since True Prophecy, I think, expired anyway at the end of the next season. Yeah, I mean, PvP wise, I mean, if we're not talking stasis, I don't know. Like, could you include the changes to stasis in the seasonal thing? I would say probably not, right? If I had to, I would say changes either came super quick or not fast enough, and when they didn't come, or when they took forever, they didn't work. I like the meta though. A big fan of 120s. You can get away with using pulse rifles this season, scout rifles in some situations.
Symmetry
think
slaps. Shattering Bones, amazing.
I think it's kind of balanced. It could be a little bit, better. I think autos kind of got really short end of the stick. I mean, then again, last season they were super annoying. So I don't know. You're never going to get perfect balance, I think. But I mean, like overall, I like the meta. I mean, it kind of feeds into what I like, so I can't really point a hole in it or anything. Something interesting that I did like that the community did this season, Chaos Reach becoming a thing in Crucible as a counter to Stasis.
Just blowing them away.
I mean, like it's a cool like community season issue. Okay, well, here's a solution kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily anything Bungie did with the season. Just kind of wanted to bring it up because it was something that I noticed kind of happen over time. Now I see it a lot more. Versus like the start of the season. So I mean, who says light is dead?
Stasis evil, kill it with Jesus beam. Got it.
Yeah, I'm right there, man. Season fairly mediocre overall. Like I would say the only reason I'm rating it a 5, Hawkmoon, the Iron Banner weapons, like just being able to get steady hand, super solid. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I mean, yeah, Criminals. I mean, I already had a Criminals, but yeah, I don't understand why Criminals isn't also in the loot pool.
Because there's already too many 120s.
I feel like they could have just. There's no 120 energy slot in cannons. Why not just like slide one of them? I don't know, into the energy slot. Whatever. So yeah, I mean, I gave it a 5. I mean, mediocre season. I didn't expect this season to be amazing because of the DLC, because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. I would have liked to see a little bit more communication with PvP, but it is Bungie, and until the the sky is falling, this is the communication we get. So, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on the season.
Before we segue,
yeah,
I want to quickly wrap back around to the Hawkmoon thing, and how that's the first weapon with random rolls. I like it on Hawkmoon. I like that I can like personalize my exotic there and like grind for this like perfect roll and whatnot. But I also think that this low key sets a precedent to sunsetting exotics.
That is a good point, because they have said like we're not going to sunset exotics
yet.
That is a valid point.
My question is, how would they go about doing it?
I mean, that's also true. So, like, are they going to sunset exotic armor then? Like, people are going to be pissed when you take away things like, for, backers. God, what are those hunter arms that I've been using? I can't remember.
Atheris's Embrace.
Yes, the Atheris Embrace, the Warlock exotics that...
Go Yeet loves.
Yeah, like all the new exotics, the movement exotics that we've had since year one, like people are gonna be mad. Yeah, it's just
on the flip side though, by removing and having these exotics rotate in and out, it's also going to affect the meta very easily. And it'll let them kind of control what they're wanting to see. So if they're wanting to have a close range meta, they'll make where the close range exotics are available.
Why is it Bungie control? So like, am I the only person who remembers the director's cut where it was, we want you to play how you want to play?
Nope,
why is it
they did say that.
Why is it we want you to play how we want you to play in this meta? Right? Like I don't. I honestly, I hope they don't sunset exotics. That would probably be the dumbest thing they could possibly do. I don't mind like the whole kiosk thing that they've got going on now, where like, okay, these things got put in the vault, they could come back. You can still get them this way. You know, like I don't mind. I've paid resources this season to get things. Like I didn't have a Jotun, I now have a Jotun. I didn't have a truth, I now have a truth. Like, you know what I mean?
Fun fact while we're on
it.
Jotun, it procs sunspots on bottom tree Sunbreaker. And when you're standing in a sunspot, steady hand 2 taps everything. No need to proc anything. So get Jotun kill, stand in sunspot, profit.
Yeah, but like I hope it doesn't come to sunsetting exotics. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, there's just
I don't see them doing it, and if they do, it's going to be something at a snail's pace because they have too much other stuff to be worrying about.
Yeah. I like them keeping...
Or it should be coming at a snail's pace if they're going to look at things correctly.
I think Hawkmoon should stay the only exotic with random rolls because they took off. You're never going to see Luck in the Chamber as a perk come back.
Yeah.
It was too OP. Fates was the guy that ran around with it, hoping for all of them to stack all the time.
I actually didn't use Hawkmoon that much. I was a Thorn or Last Word guy. Or even like during D1 when like those were the big 3 hand cannons. I was using like Red Death or like Messenger. Which is a perfect segue, I think, into some of the stuff we're getting next season.
Trials weapons, I saw it. My baby, he back.
So, before we get to Trials, let's at least talk on some D1 stuff, because it still links. Swarm, Palindrome, Shadow Price are coming back. We were just kind of discussing it before we started, as far as rate of fire on Palindrome. It's probably going to be a 140. It sat in the primary slot. I'm
pretty sure it'll stay primary.
Yeah.
Kinetic.
I wish they would move it to the energy slot, just honestly, because I feel like we don't have enough energy slot hand cannons at the moment.
Well,
I mean, like
model,
you've got
though,
like, yeah,
the energy hand cannons have always looked Omalani.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just me being hopeful. I'm kind of excited to see Palindrome and Shadow Price come back. Shadow Price, I think we said, was the equivalent of a 450.
450 is what we were guessing.
Yeah.
I ran Shadow Price a lot.
Yeah, I had a Palindrome with Hidden Hand and stuff on it.
I got the God Roll one from the vendor.
Same. Bought it
as soon as it was there,
buy. I might have it. I just was looking quickly to see what the rate of fire was listed at. It could be solid. I'm kind of excited to see some D1. I just want all of our D1 stuff back. Just give me my old vault. You're rebuilding the tower. Just be like, oh yeah, by the way, I found all your stuff in this pile of rubble. Here you go.
Oh, wouldn't that be
if
nice?
That happens, not Gellian's demise. The other scout, Colavance's duty, and a Matador 64 were in my hand 90% of the time. That and no backup plans on my Titan.
I mean, I know it's not easily as just cut and paste and move it into the new game, but there's just so much stuff that they can easily just pull off and move over, like that they already have, like at least the base kind of stats for these guns.
What if they created themselves some kind of tool that lets them put it in? The tool converts it into what it would need to be for D2 in order to work. Is that a possibility?
I mean, that would be. I mean, I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about like.
I don't know jack crap about that, but
I remember. I remember
in Tyler's perfect world.
I remember reading something where like it wasn't necessarily like they could just transfer it or you're like even just like rewrite a little of it. It was basically like, okay, we want to bring this D1 forward. basically all they have at that point is like the model for the gun. Like they don't like the art. It's almost like an art board kind of deal. So they have to actually go and create the gun in D2, which I'm hoping with like the engine changes, it becomes a little bit easier. I mean, maybe. I mean,
Here's to hoping.
yeah. So I mean, kind of a reason for me to play PvE stuff, I guess. A new pursuit weapon.
There's also going to be other weapons added into the Crucible and Vanguard and Gambit loot pools.
Yes.
Those we don't know about.
No. We would if Bungie would give me my office with Luke Smith. But so the pursuit weapon, breech loaded grenade launcher, salvager's salvo.
Yeah, everybody's worried about it being a Mountaintop 2.0. What is y'all's take on that?
I don't think it'll be Mountaintop.
I really don't think it'll have micro missile. That'll be incredibly tone deaf and defeat the purpose of sunsetting if it came back with micro missile.
Well, we want to talk about tone death. We'll get to that one with Trials weapons.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
I think it'll be more akin to Militia's Birthright.
I'm willing to bet it'll either be a kinetic or it'll be a arc wave frame.
Well, no, it says breech loaded, so no, because
but there's still a breech load.
True. Yeah, that's true. I would really dislike it if they went wave. I hope it's just
wave could be good depending on what perks it got.
I mean, true, I guess. I don't know. I don't trust Bungie to like put solid. So like Adored is solid, but I mean, Killing Wind is okay. I mean, it's a little weird on a sniper, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. It lets you move out, get your shot, then move to another spot.
It does. True. I don't know. I'm hoping Militia's Birthright more so than I don't think we're going to see. And I would honestly laugh if it was anything like oh God, what was it? Mountaintop. Yeah, that would be
on it.
It's literally just got the same perks. It's just a different.
Jesus, could you imagine?
It's different skin.
Now, on the flip side, though, if they do this, people are going to be able to get it from Gambit, Crucible, or Vanguard Strike. So everybody's going to have access to it, which will eliminate the complaint that some people couldn't get it.
Okay, sure.
I feel like Mountaintop wasn't hard to get, though. Like, what'd you have to hit? You had to hit Fable, right?
And you had to hit Fabled, which, with the changes they made, were easy. The hard part was the multi-kills, because it wasn't just getting double kills or whatever. It was getting the kills where, like, for the fusion, it says cold fusion. Or for the scout rifle, field scout, or something like that.
The things I did with Colony.
Yes, those.
I literally grinded it out with Colony.
I took a scout rifle into momentum control and just two-tapped everybody to death. Polaris Lance.
I think it is interesting that they kind of went off the beaten path with the pursuit weapon. Right? Like, how many people really use grenade launchers? And like, you know what I mean? Like, PvE?
Yeah.
Sure.
I can think of one immediately. Big Red.
Same.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, there are some people who do, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily like they went like, I feel like this season they went kind of easy with Adored. Like, it was the easy kind of choice. Oh, everyone went like
Beloved going
bye-bye. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of interesting, I guess.
It is a new model though, too. I mean, think about it like that. There's never been a model that's looked like that.
So now on to, since we are a PvP podcast, new Trials weapons and armor.
Armor looks cool, kind of like very Persian-esque. There's a theory. There's a theory that they have some Zodiac elements looked into them. If it's not on the Trials armor, it's going to be part of the Eververse. The hunters are Scorpio. They have the cloak has like a scorpion tail at the tip and everything. The Titan is a Taurus, so it's got like bull helmet. I like that because the horns, instead of being like the Dawning where they're way out, they're like real close and tight. I like that. And Warlock, probably Anubis or something, a Jackal. But again, theories. Nobody knows for sure yet.
So with them just adding these 3, I wonder. So first off, the sword is.
Let's go with the controversial one first.
Yeah, let's start there. So like 3 peeking is a huge thing, and then they're just like, oh yeah, by the way,
here's a trial sword.
Here's a trial sword, specifically
trial
PvP.
sword.
So you can 3 peek and flex on them at the same time.
Yeah.
With the adept trial sword.
That's something I'm kind of curious to see. What is an adept like? I know adept mods like boost stats and stuff, but like,
I think there's one that's more impact. But I mean, sword is kill.
Yeah. I mean, like, so it's definitely an interesting choice. It's a little head scratching. I would have liked to see like an LMG or something if we had to pick a heavy.
It was Luke Smith's idea. He did it to tick you off, Fates.
Probably. He's like, oh, make it a sword. Let's piss as many people off as we possibly can. I feel like that's how Luke makes all of his decisions. He's just like, you have a LMG here as the heavy. Yeah, we do. They like LMGs. Make it a sword. They hate 3 peeking. Piss them all off.
Oh my god!
It's a head scratching decision, right? Like trials is the pinnacle of PvP. At least it should be, right? So like, why wouldn't you think like, okay, well, let's give them weapons that are good in PvP? Like, I don't know. I like, not that swords are bad, but swords and 3 peeking is a big thing. I just don't get the thought there.
So, little segue, little off the beaten path while we're on this. When they were talking about this originally on Twitter, Cosmo or DMG, I can't remember who said it. You'll have to go back and look. But they were saying that they did see all the chatter about 3 peeking, and they are trying to figure out something. But any things that they try right now are going to affect any emotes and weapons that they plan in the future. The way he worded it, it made it seem like they were actually possibly thinking of other third-person weapons coming to Destiny outside of swords,
like axes and whatnot.
Like axes, or I'm thinking Halo when you rip off a minigun off a car.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so that might be something they're working on down the road, but anything that they are doing to try and solve that issue could affect that down the road. And they said that on their Twitter feed. Like I said, I don't have the exact quote, I just remember it. But yeah, 3 peeking sword, I'm just like, y'all really are just like...
3 peeking is a whole nother discussion that we'll have, I'm sure, at some point. So on to brighter and lighter. On to better things. The hand cannon. I hope it's an energy slot hand 120. I really do.
That's what I hope. I hope it's an energy slot 120. I have a feeling it's not, though. It reminds me of a Midnight Coup archetype. And Midnight Coup was what? Was
140.
It was a 140 in the kinetic, right?
Yeah.
So see,
I mean,
I just don't think there's an information. It's just
my first thought with Bungie is it looked like Midnight Coup. I think they just altered the
they added a little bit to it, added, changed the model a little bit and said, boom, here you go. I mean, honestly, I'm okay with them doing that. I just wish that they were just like, okay, yeah, let's move it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how much work.
I agree. It needs to be moved.
But, I'm excited to get another hand cannon. Hand cannon, go Burt.
Now, Gear Shifter, would this make you put down what hand cannon you have been using lately?
I've been using the 7th Seraph Revolver, and Criminals and True Prophecy. That's only because they're sunsetting Old Fashioned, and I need to quickly scramble to find a new forever primary gun. If it's good, sure, I'll give it a try and try out that Trials hand cannon. But also, I honestly think it'll be in the energy slot because we're getting. I don't know when the Vault class is supposed to come back. It's either next season or the season after. I don't remember. We're getting that. We're getting what is it? Fatebringer. That's probably going to be a primary.
Yeah.
We're getting Palindrome next season. That's easily a primary.
Fatebringer was energy slot. It was arc.
It was arc
No.
until last season. They took away the arc thing, and they just left it in the primary slot.
Yeah.
So probably still be a primary.
I just want to point out that he said the first gun he said was a 180, and I told everybody who argues with me, 180s totally viable if you play them right.
That thing doesn't move. Like I spam the trigger and it does. Like it doesn't deviate whatsoever.
All right. I mean, hand cannon's going to be interesting. I feel like Trials, looking at past Trials weapons, right? Like Summoner was super solid. It still is. Sniper rifle super solid. Everything else is kind of. I mean, the Scholar's not bad, right? But it's not.
It can
great right now. I feel like, but I feel like Trials weapons for sure. Whatever reason, Bungie doesn't. No, they're not always like even in D1. Like outside of a select few, a lot of them were just okay, or they could hang. Like it wasn't. They weren't anything overly crazy. I feel like, except for a brief few, and like for example, the next one because it kind of looks the same. At least the model looks super similar to the Messenger in D1. By the way, I can't wait till this pulse rifle comes out. I hope it is the Messenger because it just that was my favorite. I think I used that more than I used the hand cannons. The main decider for me for that hand cannon, it's going to be the sight on it. I think.
You can actually get a peek at the sight in the trailer. There's a scene. There's some scenes where they're using it.
I'm gonna have to look at it.
ADSing.
I'm gonna have to look at it kind of close. Because like even like Astral Horizon, right? It has that weird kind of trialsy sight.
That's what kills it for me. I do not like the sight on that.
So I mean, hand cannon, it'll depend. That pulse rifle, as long as it's got a solid perk pool, I will probably not put it down. I love pulse. I love me some dad rifles.
What if they give it rapid hit and head seeker?
I will not take it off. The original had head seeker on it,
or could roll head seeker.
Yeah, I have one. I was looking through my D1 vault on DIM the other day, actually. So I had one with head seeker. I don't know if it. I feel like the D1 Trials weapons were static. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. But I know that you could get head seeker on it. I had an Adept Messenger. I 100% had one of those.
I had two. Fire and Void.
Adept Sun.
I might have had other ones. I don't remember. I might have just kept one just because like I didn't care about. I had other weapons for burns and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see the Trials weapons outside of the sword. The armor again, super cool looking. I was kind of surprised to even announce new armor for Trials. Hopefully we get some new Iron Banner armor eventually.
That's already been shown.
Has it?
I saw it somewhere. It was. I'm pretty sure that it was like a leak of something that was going to get shown. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. But if it was from a legitimate source, it is new and it is not samurai looking.
Thank God.
Yeah,
I miss the old kind of knight kind of vibe that we
this
used to
almost
get.
reminded me of Norse looking kind of stuff. It was
that would be cool too.
It was interesting. That. Like it wasn't like I could point to it and say that this was it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that we're getting Ghost Shell, Sparrow ship. I want trial shaders back though. just as a side, conversation. They did include a picture of some of the Season of the Chosen weapons. See a sniper rifle fusion, a bow that oddly looks enough like the Vow, not Ariana's, but the Vow from Crimson Doubles, just kind of gold-ish. So, could be interesting. The rocket launcher 100% looks like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of Sins of the Past, but
That's one thing I noticed, that they kind of look like
I mean, it is Cabal, so it does make sense. But the bow 100% looks like the Vow from
Yeah.
Crimson Doubles.
Yeah.
which is another slap.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like that. I loved the Vow. I actually used it a lot. I used to pair it with Last Word. But moving on to everyone's favorite exotics. And I know everyone loves them. The Cult of Aeon, whatever. Everyone, I know everyone right now listening to this doesn't take theirs off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that. But they are changing them to somewhat be useful. Interesting. So we wanted to lean hard into the idea that these exotics are the exotics you and your fire team wear when you really want to work together as a team. So with that in mind, we have 3 main goals for the revamped mechanics. Create role-based mechanics that reward you for doing things that your role is supposed to be good at. Create mechanics that reward other players on your fire team when you fulfill your role. Give your fire team incentives for each player to take on a different role. Instead of having a single monolithic exotic perk to handle this, we've opted to take a page out of the Armor 2.0 book and give the Aeon Cult exotics their own unique mod sockets and mods, which are unlocked as soon as you acquire the exotic, in each of which is tied to one of the different Aeon Cult roles. These mods are identical across the exotics for all 3 subclasses, so it doesn't matter whether you're Titan, Hunter, Master Race, or a Warlock. Kind of can play your role. You get to know your role, jabroni. No, I'm just kidding. So, Sect of Force. You specialize in punishing powerful combatants before they can harm your allies. Rapid precision hits with a weapon temporarily increase your reload speed and weapon swap speed. So, reload handling. When you stun a champion or defeat a mini boss, kind of doesn't apply to us as a PvP podcast, but might as well read it off. Defeat a champion or defeat a boss / mini boss, your nearby fire team members gain a burst of grenade and melee energy. Sorry, can't talk. Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Force role equipped also gain a burst of super energy. The Sect of Insight. You specialize in empowering your allies and keeping them well supplied. Successful precision weapon takedowns. You have a chance to drop an orb of power for your allies. When you use a finisher on an elite, generate special ammo for your fire team. When you use a finisher on a boss or a mini boss, you generate heavy ammo for your fire team. Nearby Aeon Swift Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Insight role equipped gain a bonus to weapon damage for a short period of time. The last one is Sect of Vigor. You specialize in keeping your allies in the fight. Gain class ability energy as your allies die. Gain full class ability energy when you resurrect an ally. When you cast your super, nearby allies gain instant bursts of healing. Aeon Cult allies who do not have Sect of Vigor role equipped also gain an overshield. Each of these mods has a perk. Doesn't mention if the first one works in so the first perk in each one.
It says combatants, not PvP. Anytime something said combatants, it is not available in PvP.
The first part of it does, though. That's only for Sect of Force, and the others don't mention it at all. And that's only in the description of the mod. That's not the actual So like it says rapid precision hits with a weapon temporarily increase your reload speed and weapon swap speed. It doesn't specifically say combatants in that at all. It doesn't say it in any of them except for the actual description above it, above the sector force, where it does say combatants, and that's the only one that it says combatants in.
If they do it, it's going to become the new Ophidians for all classes.
I mean, you could literally roll a class, like you could easily roll. I mean, Sector Vigor sounds kind of solid for. Honestly, it kind of would work like running Loopy in what's that Titan exotic that just came out? Is it the mask, the helm, where you get the overshield off
scars
revives?
of something.
Yeah. So I mean, like if the first like section of each works in PvP, I mean, Sect of Insight wouldn't be super interesting, but like the other two sound kind of cool for PvP. Rapid precision hits with a weapon temporarily increase your reload and swap speed. I mean, kind of cool.
Make use of that.
Sect of Vigor sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could easily like run like a full squad of Vigor and kind of, you know, use those resurrections to your advantage, I guess. I like that they're changing literally the worst exotic in the game. I have gotten so many ever. I got so many of these goddamn Aeon Swifts and stuff on my hunter this season. I thought somebody was trolling me.
The thing was, what's really great, the week before they had all this, DMG, of course, had his tweet where he's like, oh, something, and everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
I got a roll that was good, too, and I held on to it just because I was like, it's stats. Yay. And then this happened, and I'm like, well, I'm at least set to try it out. I know if it is viable and it does work in PvP, if they do work in PvP, I could see me, Chance, and Ace putting something together and it'd just be nutty.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be super solid.
I'm kind of interested to see the synergies that come out of these and what we might end up rocking.
I hope they kind of work in PvP.
The spawning of special ammo will be a problem.
Yeah. Assuming that works.
Well, you don't get that off. That one is specifically mentions PvE stuff, so you have to finish finish.
Oh, so many bucks. Okay.
Yeah. So like the ones that would apply to like PvP would be like rapid precision hits with a weapon, temporarily increase the reload speed and weapon swap speed, successive precision weapon takedowns. They specifically don't mention like combatants or anything. Takedowns, it's weird. Have a chance to drop an orb of power for your allies, which is essentially just like a master.
It's probably gonna be a masterwork orb. It's not enough. If it's not enough to ride, what is it? Masterwork orbs give like a 16th of a bar, and orbs of power from supers are give an 8th.
It does say orb of power, so like I don't know. It's weird.
And they're both orbs of power.
Yeah,
they're just different.
No, it's weird that like I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll stack with that. I don't know. Maybe you'll get 2 of those, essentially what are masterwork orbs. I don't know. The last one is the one that interests me the most.
The shield, supercast.
You're gaining. No, you're gaining class ability energy as your allies die. So playing trials, somebody goes down, boom, there's your class ability. So like you're at least getting energy back. It doesn't even have like it doesn't even mention like a distance like kind of limit. You gain full class ability energy when you resurrect an ally. When you cast your super, nearby allies instantly gain a burst of healing. Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Vigor roll equipped also gain an overshield.
That's go time for your team to push.
So basically, as long as you're all running Vigor, and well, not even.
No, you want one guy running Vigor, the other two to not.
So you want one guy running Vigor, and then the other 2 just don't affect PvE really, other than like on a personal level, so you could personally just choose whichever one you want, I would probably say Sect of Force. So you'd run like 2 guys with Sect of Force and a guy with Sect of Vigor. Maybe.
Yeah.
PvE wise, it sounds kind of fun.
That'll
Probably
probably make
definitely
Grandmasters easy, getting special ammo and heavy off of
Oh, yeah.
bills.
finishers and stuff, healing off of super casts, all that kind of stuff. Over shields if you're not running Vigor, definitely probably good for farming out those new adept weapons that are coming. They did mention catalysts for guns that are vaulted or have their
Catalysts
content
that
vaulted.
aren't available are going to become available, and some guns that were vaulted and available from the kiosk are going to be available now. That honestly upset me, because or would have upset me if I had bought some of those. Like, I already had Whisper of the Worm, but if I didn't have it and I bought it from there, and then literally one freaking season later it's available again,
I had the issue of, like, I was holding the exotic cipher from the one that they added, the cheeky one that they added in for Mars for that guy with the cancer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was holding that because I had all the seasonal weapons before. So it was more like I want to be able to collect stuff off of my pass. So
right. You can't pick up more of them, right?
Yeah, you can only carry one. Yeah, you can only carry one. So I couldn't collect the ones off the pass. So I just kind of blew the ones that I blew that one, and then I blew the other one off the pass, and that was that. It's kind of dumb that you can't carry more than one, especially since some of them have some really high requirements. Telesto.
But once there was a season where it didn't break anything, let's just point that out.
That's true.
Wrong.
It didn't do anything this season.
Wrong. There was something, I saw something on Twitter. It wasn't huge, but it did do something. I forget what it was, though. I remember seeing it on Twitter.
I know it could kill a behemoth, which was intended.
No, it was something else. Anyway. Yeah, so some cool exotics getting their catalysts available. Meta changing, maybe. I'm excited, kind of, for this season. Not, overwhelmingly. I mean, I know we're kind of running low on time, but, my favorite in-game event is coming back. Guardian Games. Woohoo. Super sarcastic right now. So for those who can't tell, I hated Guardian Games. It's awful. I wish they'd delete it.
You just mad because you can't take my crown.
No, you're just, how's it feel to be carried by Bungie through it?
I mean,
because there's only 5 of you who play Titan in game.
Not right now. Everybody, have you seen how many behemoths are in PvP?
The Stasis Aspect quest. Kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. New aspect.
Another could affect PvP.
Now, instead of running the same year 2 that you've unlocked, there'll be a chance for others. I honestly need to spend this next week or this weekend finishing up my one on my Hunter and my Warlock, because I don't play those classes, so I don't have those other 2 done. I mean, I'm at the part where you have to go to do the Nightfall, and I'm just like, no, PvP.
Shame. No,
I'm all about the throwing knife on my Hunter anyway, so.
I am super surprised they brought Guardian Games back, but no Crimson Doubles, but here's Guardian Games, which everyone hated last year.
That's whatever I saw. I'm all for it. Vote. Get rid of Guardian Games, bring back Crimson Doubles, make it a 2-month-long event.
Either that, or I hope to God, and I know it probably didn't happen, but that they took all that feedback that came from, last year's Guardian Games, how it was just a boring bounty grind, and they changed something about it. I don't know.
Nope.
It's just probably not, but I'm hoping Iron Banner's got some solid, weapons that aren't just still hoping for that pulse. I forget what it's called.
For that picture that I saw that had the armors, I want to say there is a returning Iron Banner weapon, and it may be the Pulse.
I want Time War Spire to come back.
Yeah, that's the Pulse.
I think that's the one that's coming back.
It's a 450 or at 450. It's a 540. I'm apparently dyslexic. Rapid fire frame.
Too much rolling on the ground. It does that to you.
Yeah, my brain's a little scrambled from rolling around.
Facts.
I'm kind of curious to see what happens when they run out of Iron Banner weapons to bring back.
You know what they're gonna do, just to upset you? They're gonna wait till the very end and bring back the Hero's Burden.
Probably. I've been waiting. I was like, this is the season, and then it never came back. Oh, I shouldn't say that. So, like, they've got the stuff from Forsaken still. I mean, that they could potentially throw out. I wouldn't be mad if Claws of the Wolf came back.
No.
Yeah.
Rip. Hated that one. 90% of the weapons from that Iron Banner I disliked. Bite of the Fox, the one exception.
I loved it. It was great. I had a really good roll.
Really?
I think I had a kill clip roll. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Claws. I remember Claws being good.
Was that full auto or I might have you could roll full auto, I think.
Probably.
I had a full auto roll that was amusing.
We're out of time. We're all talked out, but we're looking forward to next season. Be sure to tune in next week where we'll give our first impressions, give you the info on the TWAB. You can catch us here on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Anchor, we are in multiple places. If you want to catch us live, you can find me at twitch.tv/Tibbercat. All my socials are down below. Bates, where they can find you at?
Before I get into my socials, make sure you spend your tokens this weekend. Before Tuesday. Spend your tokens, people. I just blew through 8,000. But yeah, so you can find me, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think I have a Facebook page, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everywhere. Fates_Pyro, Fates Pyro TTV, pretty much anywhere. Something like that. Yeah. They're all pretty much linked on my Twitch anyway, so definitely the place to go to find it.
And Chance, where can they find you at?
You can find me at GearShifter09 on Twitter and Instagram.
That's going to be it for us here, folks. Thank y'all for hanging out again, and we'll see y'all in the next one.